Yeah, do you show houses? Yeah. Did you ever train a buyer to make choices?
I don't pressure them to make choices. No.
Oh, the key to pressure. You know what the key to
I let
pressure?
them stop and think about it.
No. You know the key to making. You know the key to not pressuring them is pressure them in a way that they don't know they're getting pressured. All right, make sense? We can talk about that sometime, not today. If I were going to pressure you, I'd pressure you, and you never know you're getting pressured. Okay? But in the end, you'd be pressured, and you'd make a decision. So if we're going to look at, here's an example from last week, since some of you weren't here last week. I'm going to show you 5 houses today. Okay, I'm going to house A. We're going to see house A. You like the house, what'd you like about it, what'd you not like about it? I'm trying to learn something. All right, we're going to house B. We're going to do the same thing in house B. After you've seen house B, I'm going to ask you this question. If you had to live in one of these 2 houses, which one would it be? Oh, we like house A better than B. This was from last week. This is what we did. Remember that? We try to get them to make choices as we go. If I show them 5 houses, I know my buyer real well. I show them 5 houses. The 5th house is probably going to be 10% higher than any others. You know why? Why? Which one are they going to like best? Which one are they going to like best? You know which one they're going to like best. The last one, sure, absolutely. You remember this from last week? Those of you, some of you weren't here, most of you weren't here. Remember this? You know what that is? You know what that is? What's that, Harry?
Needs and wants.
Yeah, that's a seesaw, right? Down here for most buyers, wants and needs are heavy. Their pocketbook is light. Okay? If they're ever going to buy a house, what do you have to learn to do? You got to balance the seesaw. By showing them the 5th house, guess what? If they're still heavy on the wants and needs, what are they going to do when they go home? We still want all the stuff we said we want. What are they going to do when they go home? Going to find out how we get more money. We're going to talk to grandma and see what we got on the mattress and all that kind of stuff. Right? Because we got to get more money if we want our wants and needs to be met. We got to come up with more money. We did all of this last week, and we'll be going, for you new people, we'll be going over this stuff as long as Lewis wants me to do it. So, you know, that's how it just continues. It just continues. So, here we go. Here we go. How about the sales side of it? On the listing appointment, poor preparation and presentation often lead to objection by the seller. Listen to that dialogue, or listen to what that says. Poor preparation and presentation. I hate to ever bring up my former company, but my former company used to they have a listing presentation that's not on planet Earth, I can tell you that. All right? Because a lot of times people will go in there with poor presentation and poor dialogues and so forth. And they won't, the last words they'll hear when they go out the door is, well, we're not sure what we're going to do, we want to think about it. And what they're really doing is getting ready to call in somebody else and compare yours to theirs. All right? So, guess what? Lewis knows, we know, we're going to get the presentation better and better and better all the time, right? Yes. His big deal is the computer, and the computer, showing them stuff on the computer, and it's getting better. You know, I had an agent from another company. Do they watch your stuff? Can they watch your stuff?
Everybody does, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He said, I saw you on the internet the other day. I said, what? I said, hell, I'm not on the internet. What are you talking about?
You're a superstar. You just don't
This
know.
guy said,
You're not famous for amazing, but
this guy said, yeah, he said, I saw you on the internet. I said, hey, I've never been on the internet. I know. And I didn't. I thought you were just doing this for you guys. You know?
No, I don't stand here for my health, Tom.
I know. But boy, you're helping the enemy.
That's not true.
Huh?
That's not true.
That's not true?
Yeah, we're not helping them. Only people who really have an interest in this will watch this, and then once they realize that they're not getting that at their office, they're going to come over. You understand?
Ooh. Yes, sir. I do understand. You understand?
I understand.
All right. All right. So, listing appointment, same way as we said. Said poor preparation and presentation lead to objections of the seller. Okay. What are some of the most common seller objections? It's on the next page, page 7. We don't want to pay 6%. You see that one? Top of page 7. We have to get X dollars for our house. That's another one you hear a lot. We're not going to list with anybody for 6 months. Now, you think I'm going to sign up with you for 6 months? I'm not going to do that. Okay, I can appreciate your concern about the listing time. Apparently you got a reason to feel that way. Is it that you don't trust me and don't think we'll do a good job for 6 months? Is it? If I could show you how we need a 6-month listing to do all the marketing that we intend to do, would that take care of the problem with 6 months? What'd that say? I don't know. I don't know, but I know I want cushion, question, isolate, handle, close. Cushion, question, isolate, handle, close. All right. We won't list anyone in 6 months. We want weekly advertising. Oh, you got a simple one for that, right, Lewis?
Yeah.
How about daily advertising? Would you be interested in daily advertising?
I definitely would be.
Oh, they would be, wouldn't they? If a buyer or seller said to you, we want to make sure you advertise our house every week, you could come back with them with, how about daily advertising? Could I show you how we advertise daily?
Non-stop, 24/7.
Yeah, and so you come up with a dial and fit that in with all of the stuff being on the computer and all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You can fit, Lewis, you can fit it all in. It all fits right in there. We don't want a sign. Oh, what are you going to do with that? What's a sign? What is a real estate sign?
Advertising.
I tell you what it is. It's a 24-hour-a-day silent salesperson. It's a 24-hour-a-day silent salesperson. So would you like to have somebody trying to sell your house 24 hours a day? Of course you would. Well, the sign does that. Okay, and then you explain to them how people come off the signs, get the numbers off the signs, and blah, blah, blah. Okay? So if I could show you the importance of having a sign on the property, it'll help you attract buyers, probably get a little more money for your house. Don't you want to have a sign on the property? Follow? Follow. All right, let's take 5 objections listed above and discuss some techniques to overcome it. We're going to fit these techniques into the 5-step objection handling approach that we used to. The 5-step one. If you walk in here next week and you can't tell me the 5-step one, I think I'll ask you to leave. How would that be? I think that'd be a good idea. Tell you the truth. You didn't do any homework? Go home. All right? So where are we? All right, techniques to overcome the objection to commission. Will you do it for 5%? What's the first one say?
No.
All right, how you say it, Harry?
No.
There you go. There you go. Did you like the first time you said it? You said no. How did you do the second time?
No.
No. And you know what they'll do? A lot, you laugh, but you know what they'll do a lot of times? Well, I just thought we'd ask.
Make them feel silly for asking.
Yeah, you make me feel stupid for asking. I'm going to do all of this for you and take a pay cut? Are you kidding me? I don't think so. What's the next one say? Visual commission split. Oh, yeah. I love this one. Used to do this one a lot. When we list your house for 6%, you think we get all the commissions? Is that right? Is that what you think?
As a buyer, I used to think that.
Yeah. If I could what?
Show you.
Show you how the commission is split, would you let me do that? Of course. First of all, we list a house, somebody else sells it, that cuts the commission in half. Is that correct? My company gets half of it, right?
Yes, sir.
I split some way or other with my broker. Let's just say it's split 50-50. Now I got this much, is that correct? And I got a car, and I got car insurance, and I got advertising, and I got 2 kids in college, and whatever. And this is about what I'm getting paid. And you're telling me that you want a part of that? You kidding me? It's easy. Is it a good visual? You better believe it is. You better believe it's a good visual. No, they got to know what you're getting paid. They think real estate people are making a ton of money, don't they? You're automatically, if you sell a house, you're going to make $7,000, $8,000. No. So you got to show them. Okay. Extend the marketing plan. All right. What do you mean by extend the marketing plan? Well, here's what we mean by extend the marketing plan. If you list with somebody for 5%, they're taking what amounts to a pay cut of about 17%. 1/6 of the whole thing. They're taking a pay cut of about 17%. What are they going to do with the marketing plan in order to make their money? What are they going to do? Huh? Are they going to extend the marketing plan for the full 6 months? Do everything they said they'd do till it's sold? No. They're not going to extend the marketing plan. What are they going to do? They're going to make cuts. They're going to cut the advertising. They're going to cut the open houses. They're going to cut whatever they have to cut in order for them to make a little money. So every time we cut the commission, every time Brand X cuts the commission, guess what they're doing? They're cutting their marketing plan. You're not going to get the marketing plan that you need to have to sell your house for the most money. Easy enough? What's the next one say? I love this one. In 1990, I had open heart surgery. This is a true story. I had open heart surgery, and I had about 6 months to think about what I had to do before I was going to get the surgery. And you know what I did during that 6 months? I shopped around for the cheapest surgeon I could find. Right? They'll laugh. They'll laugh when you tell them that. They'll laugh like hell. You shopped around for the cheapest surgeon you could find? No, not really. That's not what I did. But when you're talking about getting the best real estate agents, and you're talking about cutting the commission, you're shopping around for the cheapest agent you can find. All right? And a light goes off in their head. You're shopping for the cheapest agent. You want the better agent or the cheapest agent? Which one you want? The better agent's going to get you more money. The cheaper agent's going to get you less money because he's taking less to start with. All right? Demonstrative Brand X negotiating skills. Oh, I love this one. I love this one. Demonstrating Brand X skills. Let's say that you list with Brand X for 5%. All right? And you get an offer on the house. Now, Brand X, when he negotiated his commission, he gave you an example of his negotiating skill, didn't he? He took less money, didn't he? What do you think he's going to expect you to do when you're negotiating the price? He's going to get you to take less money because he doesn't have the negotiating skill to negotiate it upward. Make sense to you? All right. Okay, probe seller. Down at the bottom of page 7, it says techniques to overcome the objection list price. Probe seller on info on pricing. And the question is, and we said it a while ago, you want X dollars for your house. What information do you have that leads you to believe that your house is actually worth blah, blah, blah? What information do you have that leads you to believe that your house is actually worth blah, blah, blah? All right? And you know what they're going to say? Well, Joe up the street sold his for $300,000 and mine's better than his. And then you follow with if I could show you. Well, if I could show you that Joe actually got less price, or there's several others around here that actually got less price, would that take care of your problem with the price? If I could show you. All right? We're going to skip right on through here real quick, get this over with. All right, sell it once, sell it twice. This is another technique you learn to use. You know, when you list a house, you not only have to sell it once, you have to sell it twice. First people you have to sell it to is the other agents, the Brand X agents. Is that correct? I have to sell it to the Brand X agents, and they in turn have to sell it to their customers in some cases. Is that correct?
Correct.
So I have to sell it twice. So in order to sell it twice, the first thing I have to sell it to is the other agents. The other agents have all the information. They know what the house ought to be priced at. That's a tough sell. Correct? So sell it once, sell it twice. Man, it's a tough sell. Sell it twice. All right? That's another one. What else we got here? Problems of overpricing. Okay, here's problems of overpricing. This you can show them this one. Well, here's the problems of overpricing. Let's say that we got 5 houses for sale in the area. A, B, C, D. And here is U. Overpriced. All right, just think about a pinball machine. Here's a buyer. Boing. Here he comes, right? Guess what that agent's going to do before he shows house A in order to get people to see that there's a good value in house A? He's going to go boing and look at your overpriced one, right? And then he's going to take you to one that's priced right. Is that correct? And he might sell that one. And here comes another one. Boing, here he goes. Priced right. Sell this one, sell that one. Guess what's going to be left at the end? Your overpriced house. Make sense? Now, let me ask you this. I could have talked about that just now, or I could have shown you this cheesy little visual. Which was better to show the seller? This cheesy little visual. Absolutely. And I bet you, I have no artistic ability at all, but I bet you all of you too can draw 5 circles and put A, B, C, D in them, right? We can all do that. Okay, what else we got? Problems overpricing. What I think has nothing to do with sale price. Okay. All right. What you think or what I think your house is worth has nothing to do with the sale price of your house. Only what the buyer thinks has any concern with what your house is worth. Your house is worth whatever a buyer is willing to pay. Example, I got on a cheap watch here today, but let's say that I had to sell this watch. I have no money for lunch. I have nothing. I need to sell this watch right now. I need to sell this watch. All right, I'll toss this watch out of here and I'll say, Rocco, what do you give me for the watch? $3.50, you said, right? $3.50, Danny said. All right, Danny's the only, now listen, Danny is the only buyer I have. Nobody else in this room wants my watch. What's my watch worth?
$3.50.
$3.50. Another good example. Full of good examples, right? All right. Condition describing a home for sale. Oh. Okay, let's talk about condition for just a second. There are actually 4 ways you can look at condition when looking at a house. Okay? Let's say it's very saleable, but at the wrong price. Price too high. That's one condition, is it not? Saleable, price too high. What's another one? It's in poor condition. It's unsaleable. It's priced right, but it's in such bad condition it's unsaleable. That's 2, right? How about unsaleable and at the wrong price? It's in bad condition and it's priced too high. That's 3, isn't it, right there? So what's it got to be? In order to sell a house, it has to be saleable and priced right. That's the 4th one. You want your house saleable and priced right. Isn't that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Are they going to sell quicker? You're going to get more money? Saleable and priced right? Absolutely, positively. So that's another one. Techniques to overcome the length of the listing. Okay, look at a 3-month listing. Have any other, Lynn, you ever got hit with, we won't list with anybody for more than 3 months? Yeah, maybe. You ever think about crossing the desert? No, seriously. Going across the desert. Let's look at a 3-month listing. Here we go. We'll start here, we're going here. All right, but we're on a trip. We're going to go across a desert. All right? If I'm going to go across the desert and I'm going to reach my goal, in this case it's them and sell their house, what do I have to do? I have to do all of a complete marketing plan, right? If I'm going across the desert, I'm going to take half enough gas to get there, right? Huh? Yeah. What's going to happen to me when I get out here? I get out here and I got half enough gas to get there. Your house is not going to sell. All right? Is it? I need 6 months. And you explain to them the marketing plan. What do you have to do? You got to put it in the computer, right? You got to advertise it. You got to open house it. This sort of stuff. Everything that you got to do, you talk about and talk about. It takes 6 months to get it done in some cases. Now, if your house is saleable and priced right, okay, it probably we'll get it sold somewhere. We might not need but a half tank of gas, right? But if it's not saleable and priced right, we better have the whole package. Easy enough? Where are we? Okay. Crossing the desert. We just did that. Okay. Techniques to overcome advertising. Where do buyers come from?
Zillow.
Yeah, they come from the internet. They come from the internet. They come from signs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all of these things are 24-hour-a-day silent salespeople. I need all of these things for my marketing plan. That's the way you sell it. I've got a plan to get you the most money for the house, but I need all of my marketing tools to get you your sale price, right? All right. Advertising doesn't sell houses. You see that one? Sell them on that, because you're going to advertise my house every day. Yeah, you said you would and everything. But guess what? Advertising does not sell houses. People do. People do. Advertising does not sell houses. People do. Because people, real estate agents, are going to see the real estate agents know the inventory. They should, absolutely, positively. They're going to see it. They're going to sell it. All right, what's next? 5% buy the house they called on. Okay, this is something that we used to talk about a lot. All right, everybody says, you know, you got to advertise. Well, in the company I worked for formerly, an agent at the front desk took care of all of the leads. The leads came in. Guess what? About 1 out of 20 leads that came in, the people wound up buying the house that they called in on. Guess what? An agent got. Every time rates go up, their ability to pay goes down. Isn't that right? How about a seller?
Their home goes down as well.
Absolutely. Every time rates go up, the number of people who will see your home decreases, right? So the price of your house will probably go down. So, what are we saying here? Positive, negative. All right, step 1, cushion the objection. What's a cushion, Rocco?
I appreciate that.
Okay. I appreciate what? Come on, give me the whole thing. You've been here long enough to give me the whole thing now. I can appreciate your concern about the interest rates. Okay. What's the next thing say? It says cushion the objection, and it says create interest in dealing with the objection. What's the thing in the real estate business that most gets people's interest? Come on. This is so simple.
Price.
Well, money. Absolutely. Money. If you don't know what to talk about money. I guarantee that'll get their ears up. Okay? Talk about money. I can appreciate your concern about the interest rates. The second step says create interest. All right, how are we going to create interest? If I could show you how you, and this example here is dealing with a seller. If I could show you how, if I could show you how you might get more money for your house, blah, blah, blah. By lowering the price, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a positive statement, right? So step 1 says cushion. Step 2, create interest in dealing with the objection with a positive point. Make a positive point. All right? What's it say there? It says say something positive. We're talking about interest rates. Interest rates right now are at 3.5%. You know, if you want to wait till spring to sell your house, they might go up to 4.5%. Okay? That's a positive and a negative right there together. Is it not? Mm-hmm. Now explain that. Explain that. Interest rates right now are at 3.5%. By next spring they could be 4.5%. Explain that to me. Come on. Do it. Hey, what did we say? How you do it? How do you do it? I'm gonna give it to you real quick. Give it to you real quick. This is how you create interest in talking about something. All right? This is real math here now. All right? I'm not going to sell my house till next spring. Okay? Interest rates right now are 3.5%. Now say something else related to that.
What if I could show you could put more money in your pocket by selling now than rather waiting till spring?
How are you going to do that?
I'm going to show you.
Positive, negative. Interest rate now is 3.5%.
And then waiting until
Waiting,
spring.
and it might be 4.5%. 4.5%. You're going to pay fewer people qualified to buy your house. So if you want to get the most money for it,
So now.
bingo. See, Harry's been with me since day one for you new people. Harry and I started in the gym. He told me he was selling real estate, and I told him I'd teach him how. Right, Harry?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's how I wound up here. Harry drags me over here to see Lewis. So I talked to Lewis. I said, hey, Lewis is a Jim Weichert wannabe, and that's a great thing. That's a great thing. You know? If you want to look at the advertising, just to get off subject, I told you to look yesterday's paper, try to see if you can't find a page full of advertising, the listings. What? Yeah, and who had a whole page? Who had a whole page though in the Star Ledger yesterday?
In the Star Ledger, I don't know.
Yeah.
This lady from Coal Banker had a pretty big
chunk.
little.
Did you find any FISBOs in there?
It doesn't say if it's FISBO or if it's an agent. It just says that there's a house for sale in New Jersey and Franklin Lakes. So
Yeah.
it's worth a phone call.
But it's probably a FISBO.
Kathy, be back.
All right, let me just explain to you about that page. If you're working with somebody who's working with a lot of people, all right. If you're working with somebody who's working with a lot of people, this is going back to what we were talking about earlier. If I could show you how you might miss a house you really wanted to buy, remember that dialogue we talked about? Mm-hmm. If I could, what? Show you. Then I'm going to take out that newspaper, and it's going to. It looks to me like on this newspaper page that I pulled out here to show you that about 90% of the houses for sale are for sale by realtors. Is that right?
Yes.
So we control 90% of the inventory, right, Lewis?
That is true.
If we control 90% of the inventory, what else do you think we control 90% of?
The buyers.
The buyers. That's simple, isn't it?
That's the easiest.
That's the easiest one there is. If we got 90% of the inventory, 90% of the buyers, what's your chance of finding the house you really want to buy? 10% or less. Blah, blah, blah. See? It all comes down to show you all of it. Okay. So make a positive point. We talked about interest rates, turn the positive to negative. Interest rates could be going up soon. We did that. And then just close on the positive negative using money. All right. If I can show you how you can put more money in your pocket now than wait until the spring. How do you feel about that? You want to get the most money? I always ask this question. You want to get the most money you can for the house? You ask that question to sellers, you ask this question to buyers. What do you ask the buyers? You ask this question to all buyers. You want to get a good deal? Everybody wants a good deal, right? So ask them. That should be part of your beginning plan with buyers. You want to get a good deal? Work with me. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so there we go. Positive, negative. That's two of them we've used up, have we not? All right, so let us go to page 5. All right. Feel, felt, and found. This is a real simple one. It says, as I put down here, it says use this one to reduce the importance of an objection. Use this feel, felt, found to reduce the importance of an objection. Something that might be a major objection to them to begin with can now be lesser of an objection. All right? Okay, step 1. What's always step 1? Come on. What? Cushion. Rocco's not the only one here. Come on, guys. Cushion the objection. Okay? Easy enough? What's the dialogue, Rocco?
I can appreciate
your concern about blah, blah, blah. Boy, this is rocket science, isn't it? I'll tell you. We're going to go to the moon in a minute. Okay, so you start with a cushioning statement. Make the customer feel that the objection is something that occurs on a regular basis. Hey, you guys that are a little experienced in the real estate business, I bet you've heard every objection that you wrote down on that piece of paper when we were making a list. I bet you've heard in the real estate business, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, positively. You've heard all this stuff before. So, now you're going to get to the person you're talking to and handling the objection basically is, hey, here, try this dialogue. You're concerned about the price? Oh, I've heard that before. Never fly, will it? No. But feel, felt, found might fly. So you started out, I can understand how you feel about, we'll stick with the price that we're using, all right? Sometimes use appreciate because sometimes you use the word appreciate because it makes you feel, they feel that you understand them. That's what the word appreciate's all about. All right, I can appreciate your concern. Hey, dummy, your house isn't worth $300,000. But you can't say that. You can say, I can appreciate your concern about, okay? I used to do that with my kids all the time. I can appreciate your concern. And like I said, one of my daughters told me one time, just cut out the appreciate stuff. All right? All right. Always cushion. All right? Step 2 says create interest in the objection. Take the objection further by using the word felt. Okay? I have had other folks who have felt the same way about the price of their home. I can appreciate how you feel. I've had others who have felt the same way about the price of your home. Easy enough? So now we get down to handle the objection. All right? By using your experience with the words. But I've usually found that people who listed their house at an overprice usually wound up not selling it or not making as much money on it as they should. Feel, felt, found. Feel, felt, found. Easy. Now I give you all of this stuff for real simple. I give you this stuff because you got to have dialogue, especially new people. New people don't have a clue in God's world what to say. I can guarantee you that. New people in this business do not have a clue. The only way you get this stuff is you learn it in here and then you put it into practice. We did one on open house, right, Rocco? Yeah. And about 2 weeks later, Rocco comes back and he said, that stuff you told us at that open house works. I said, no, it doesn't work. I spent 2 hours in here telling you stuff that didn't work, right? Yeah. No, it works. It works. First thing I told him was put on a shirt and tie and a jacket so he didn't look like he was 15. Easy enough. Then I gave you a bunch of dialogue, didn't I? Yeah. And I told you to sit where you can see the street, didn't I? Yeah. I did. What do you see the street for? You remember that?
Yeah, so you can see who's driving by.
You see them drive by. You know this? They teach you this? Gosh, darn, you ever do
I
it?
did my first open house yesterday. I was just told, just go.
Oh, honey. Lord, I'd never do that sometimes.
I didn't even get the buyer's phone number to contact or anything, just go.
So you wasted a day. Right?
I think so.
Well, if you didn't get any of the people that came, they didn't get their phone numbers.
I did, but, you know.
Yeah, now you
Take
don't
a
know.
little Google research to try to figure out what to do in Wingate.
I can tell you what to do in about 10 minutes. All right? What did I tell you to do? Sitting where you can see the street, remember that?
Yeah.
What are you looking at the street for? It's not going anywhere.
See people that drive by, see if people drive by.
All right, see if people drive by. You thought of that? See if people drive by. After they drive by, if they come back 10 minutes later, where they been?
Checking the neighborhood
Checking the neighborhood. Why are they checking the neighborhood?
because they're interested.
Because they have some interest in the house. See? We'll get you, you stick with us, we'll get you straightened out. Your open houses will not be wasted, I guarantee you that. All right? And then we teach them how to shake people's hand and meet people. Right? And then we ask them questions like, did you come from the,
Sign,
or the,
listing, MLS.
yeah. And why do we ask them that?
So they know the price.
They know the price if they came off the listing. If they just came off the sign, they don't know the price. See? You just in the wrong spot, honey. We'll get you straightened out. All right, here we go. Okay, feel, felt, found. Let's go through the whole thing again. Always use the cushioning statement. All right? And then you use the words feel, felt, found. I've had others who have found it, who have felt that way, but I've usually found that. Make sense? Make sense? Just learn those words. Learn it. It's just dialogue. That's all it is. It's just knowing what to say. If you sit in here and you don't learn what to say with me, I've been here, 5, 6 weeks now, I guess. If you sit in here with me and you don't learn what to say, you are wasting everybody's time. Because I want you to succeed. Man, I'm almost 81 years old. I've done my dog and pony show with this stuff. All right? I made a hell of a lot of money doing it. But guess what? You know what I made the first year? Because I didn't listen to what people told me to do. That's something. Yeah, I'm gonna play around with real estate stuff a little bit. Only reason I was doing it is because I couldn't find another job. All right? I was gonna play around with it a little bit. All right, so learn the dialogues, please. And this lesson number 4 is the most important one of all of the stuff we'll ever do. It's the most important one of just learning dialogues. just learning what to say. What's the next thing down there? It says the dilemma approach. All right, here's the word. Why do I say dilemma?
The hold up.
Huh?
The hold up.
I say dilemma because I don't like the word problem. Because problems are hard to solve. Problems are hard to solve. Dilemmas, that's just something we can work our way through. Right, Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dilemma's a whole lot nicer, easier word to work through than problem. I don't like problems. You know, if I said, we got a problem with that, well, right away, we got a wall between us, right? Lynn, you know, you've created a little dilemma for us here. Follow? It's easier, isn't it? It's absolutely, positively easier. So this is an approach that can be used to get the customer to offer a solution to his own objection. First of all, step one, uncover the objection. Ask the customer questions. This is on page 6. Ask the customer questions about the objection. All right? And this dilemma thing is one that's really good with the pricing problem when you're trying to get a listing. This is the one that's really good with the pricing problem when you're trying to get a listing. All right? Get a clear understanding about how the customer feels about the problem. Express your own concerns about the problem. Never say the word problem. All right? Mr. Smith, you know, your feelings about this matter creates a real dilemma for me. You want $300,000 for your house, right? Yeah, I do. Okay, well, your feeling of wanting $300,000 creates a real dilemma for me. You know what he's going to say? What's your dilemma? He's going to say, what's your dilemma? Almost every time. What's the dilemma? Easy enough? Well, what is the dilemma? Step 2 is one of the most important things. This dialogue is one of the most important things you can learn in real estate business. I can tell you what you want to hear and get your business, or I can tell you I can show you what you need to see and risk losing your business. Which one do you want me to do? You follow that? I can tell you what you want to hear and get your business, or I can show you what you need to see and risk losing your business. What do you think I ought to do? 99 times out of 100, they're going to say, well, show me what? They're going to say, show me. Right?
Exactly.
Exactly. If you learn that piece of dialogue right there, you can use so many different ways to try to get through problems with people. And then, hey, I can show you what you need to see. You know? I can tell you what you want to hear. What do you want me to do? Tell you what you want to hear, show you what you need to see. It's that simple, right? So, what do we got to do then? Okay, well, let's try the next step first. The step 3 says ask the customer to make a decision for you. It's real simple. Tell you what you want to hear, show you what you need to see. What do you think I ought to do? What do you think I ought to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
They're going to want to hear what they got.
They're going to want to see what you have to show them if you can. All right? All right. Now that you've got objection handling techniques to use, take a look at the most common objections encountered while working with buyers. Okay. All right, let's talk about buyer objections. What are buyer objections? Give me examples of buyer objections. You're out showing houses. Give me an example of buyer objections. No.
Not counting stalls?
Huh?
Not counting stalls and conditions?
Yeah, not the objections. Objections. Yeah. Here's the thing. You're going to get objections. You know this, right? From buyers. Now, you know how last week we had a class on working with buyers. And what did we say? If those of you were here, remember we said you got to learn what they want. The biggest way to lose a potential buyer is to show them houses they weren't interested in seeing. Remember that? So I got to learn what they want. All right? So if I'm going to learn what they want, all right, what am I going to do? Common objections encountered. What are the most common objections encountered with buyers? Well, if we've qualified them and everything and talked about what they really want and everything, it's not the price, is it? It's usually something when you're showing houses. The kitchen's too small. Example, right?
Want a big backyard?
Want a big backyard? Don't have a big backyard. All right, want a fenced backyard? I got a dog. Well, you should know that beforehand. for example. All right? So, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? You learn to use the 4 different things that we just showed you. Somebody tell me what the 4 objection handling techniques we just learned were. Real quick. What was the first one? Quick.
I can appreciate how you
Yeah, what was the first one? 5-step approach. 5-step approach was the first one. What was the second one? Real quick. Come on. See? You didn't hear me, you dadgummit. You gotta listen to me. What's the second one, Scott? Huh? Positive negative approach. What's the third one, Scott?
Feel, felt, found.
Okay, what's the fourth one, Scott? The dilemma approach. Now, by the time you leave here in a little bit, if I said to you, you can't get out that door without giving me the 4 different objection handling techniques we just used, some of you would be here all day. Some of you would be here all day. See, that's the point I'm trying to make. You gotta listen and you gotta learn. You know, I coached football for a long time. I mean, you know, I'm liable to pick somebody up and grab him by the face mask and shake his eyeballs out once in a while, you know. But I can't do that with you all. But it's hard to come in here and not get responses. It really is. It's hard, man. Y'all making me work. All right? We want to think about it.
Yep.
What is that?
Stall.
What is we want to think about it?
Stall, like you put your horses in.
Absolutely. No, not quite. Not quite. We want to think about it as a stall. Right? Example. Why do they use a stall? They use a stall because it's usually used to hide an objection. Follow? I'm going real slow with this now. Y'all are new, but we're going real slow with this. You have to learn to handle stalls, objections, and conditions, as it mentions up here on the board. All right? A stall. Something they say that what? What's it say right on here? Something they say to hide an objection. We want to think about it. You've got to know the difference between the stall and an objection. You must know the difference between the stall and an objection. She's running you some copies if you haven't got a copy. Okay. All right, you have to know the difference between the stall and an objection. A lot of people will try to handle a stall. You can't really handle a stall without finding out what the objection is. Understand? Everybody understand what we're I know you guys are new, but we understand what we're talking about? All right? So, let's go with that. Then we have to, once we recognize stalls, we have to recognize objections. This is what an objection is. An objection is a concern. You had the concern with the school system, right? An objection is a concern. And the concern is enough of a concern that prevents the customer from making a decision. Yeah, for example, you got to try to list a house and they say your commission's too high. What's the next thing they say? Will you do it for 5%? Will you do it for 4%? Right? Is that what they do to you? You know what you do? What do you say? Will you do it for 4%? What do you say? You know what you say? Huh? I don't know. God, you know what you're doing every time you cut a percent on that commission? You're cutting your pay. You're cutting your pay. We've got a whole thing about commissions and that sort of thing. But here's how you handle that. Ask me, will you do it for 4%? Ask me.
Would you do it for 4%?
No. No, ask me again.
Would you do it for 4%?
No. Now, the first one made you smile. And you might say something back to me, well, I just thought I'd ask. But when you said no, well, the hell with you. I'm going to list with this guy that'll do it for 5%. Right? It's all in the words. And how you use the words. It's all in the words. The easiest way to say no is to smile and laugh and say no. All right? I don't care what it is. Do it with your kids. Those of you who got kids, do it with your kids. When you say no, don't be real. You don't have to be real stern with them a lot of times. You don't have to say no. Okay? You just laugh and say no. Easy enough. All right, so where are we going with this? That is what we call an objection, right? A concern that prevents the customer from making a decision. And then we have conditions. The greatest example I know of a condition is something that happened to me one time when I was trying to list a house. And guess what they said? Said, we're not moving till the dog dies. We're not moving till the dog dies. Can I do anything about that? Other than ride by and throw him something over the fence, you know, that sort of thing? No, that's a condition. We're not moving until our son graduates from high school. Okay, that's a condition. You got it? You understand the 3 terms now. You understand the 3 terms. Oh, Harry Page.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Open the book and in place of seeing what do I see on the page? I see that beard on the page. Harry Page.
The most aggressive beard.
We're gonna, you better be careful with him. All right? All right. What's the job of a real estate agent in each of the situations above? Okay, we gotta go with this very carefully. When you hit stalls, you gotta see beyond the stalls. We wanna think about it. What do you, okay, could I ask you a question? Yeah, sure. What is it you feel you have to think about? What am I doing? What am I doing? If they hit me with a stall, she's running some more copies.
Feel felt found?
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're just starting lesson 4 with a bunch of newer people. All right. How do you probe? How do you probe? We got to probe a stall. How do you probe? Let me ask you this. If I said to you, if I wanted to get information from you, you know the first thing I would say? Could I ask you a question? You know what they do? 9 times out of 10? Yeah, sure. Can I ask you a question? And guess what? That will get you an answer to the next question. Could I ask you a question? Oh, yeah, okay. What is it you feel you have to think about? Right? Well, we don't, let's say you're trying to get a listing and they say, well, we don't agree with your price. All right? What do you do with that case? We don't agree with your price. Here's the deal with that. We're going to go through the whole stuff here. We don't agree with your price? Yes. Yes. You said our house was worth $250,000 and we think it's worth more than that. Real nicely ask, what information do you have that leads you to believe that your house is actually worth more than $250,000? See, you got to have the patterns up here. And that, I'm going to tell you people, all it takes is practice. All it takes is practice, 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 practice. All it takes is practice. So, when you get hit with a stall, you got to see beyond the stall and uncover the objection, if you can. And the way you do that is the soft questioning that you do it with, the soft stuff, the easy stuff. All right, where are we going from there? The next one says, objection. The agent must change how the customer feels about the objection. Do you see what that says? The agent must change how the customer feels about the objection. You know, he doesn't have to really change the objection. Just how you feel. If I could show you how I can get you more money at 6% than you can get with somebody else at 5%, how you feel about that? You can show me that? Follow? Follow? It's interesting stuff, people, but boy, it takes practice. Of all of the lessons we have in this program, this one right here is the one that will get the best results in the long run for you. This one will get, and we're going to be doing this for 2 weeks. We're doing this stuff for 2 weeks.
Package from today?
Yeah.
Oh, she's making copies.
Okay.
She's making copies. Did she bring those copies in? Louis, did she bring those copies?
She's making them now.
Yeah, she's making them now. All right. So, as it says, when customers change their feelings about something, they usually change their mind. This is very true. When they change their feelings about something, they usually change their mind. And then finally, there's conditions. So the agent must establish a time frame for maintaining contact with the customer. If I told you I'm not listing my house until my son graduates from college, graduates from high school, and he's got 1 more year, what's that for you? How do you set that up? You say, well, okay. No, you don't. I'm going to keep up with those people. I'm going to send them something from time to time to keep up with them. And when the kid graduates from high school, guess what we're going to do? We're going to talk to them about listing their house now. Right? Make sense? A lot of people just throw those kind of things away. They get hit with a condition and they just toss it. All right? Don't just toss it. Don't just toss it. You new people are going to find out one thing about this business, buddy. This is organized stuff. This is not do it off the top of my head. all that. It is organized, and if you're not well organized, you're going to have a long, hard road to hoe. Okay. There's certain techniques that should never be used. See this at the bottom of page 1? There's certain techniques that should never be used in objection handling. All right? Don't take an opposite point of view. No, that's not right. Follow? Do not take an opposite point of view. Always have a way to keep the conversation going with soft information all the time. So, don't take an opposite point of view. That's very, very, very important. You don't want to get people mad at you and argue with them. And you do that with certain dialogues, okay? And on the second page it says, don't ever show the customer you're having a hard time handling an objection. I've been doing this since 1986, 5, whatever. There's no objection you can throw at me, and some of you know this. There's no, right, Harry? Throw me an objection and I can handle it, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know why? Practice, 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 practice. That's all it is practice. All right? So, at the same time you're doing it, the more confident you get with it, the easier it is not to show them that you're upset about it. I mean, I'm thinking, this son of a gun wants $50,000 more than his house is worth, blah, blah, blah. Right? But I'm not going to show him that. I'm not going to show him that at all. All right, and what else does it say? Do not try to handle an objection without having a plan for handling it. Okay. Do not try to handle an objection without having a plan. Now, we got about 6 or 7 plans coming up here in this week and next week, as Harry just mentioned. All right, we got about 6 or 7 ways to try to learn to handle objections. Okay, so you got to have a plan. All right. Okay, just as there are certain techniques should never be used, there are techniques should be used. First one, you see that? Always listen carefully to the customer, get a clear understanding of the objection. Follow? Listen to the objection. Well, I'm not sure, you haven't shown me much of a marketing plan. I don't like your price anyway, but I don't know what we're going to do. What was the thing you wanted to listen to in there? What was the objection in that moment I just did? What was it, Rocco? Come on.
Marketing plan.
Yeah, I said that. I mumbled that for a little bit, and then what did I say?
The price.
The price. Somebody heard the price. That was the real objection. He wasn't worried about my marketing plan. He was worried about, first of all, he didn't care about my marketing plan because he wasn't going to list with me because I gave him to a lower price. All right? For example. So what else does it say? Always listen carefully. Always use a cushioning statement. Anybody know what a cushioning statement is? Always use a cushioning statement before you try to handle an objection. Here you go. Here's a cushioning statement. Here's a cushioning statement. I can appreciate your concern. I can appreciate your concern about whatever it is you're concerned about. All right? Easy enough? I can appreciate your concern about the price, blah, blah, blah. All right? Okay. I use the same cushioning statement all the time. I used to use cushioning statement every time I dealt with something with my kids. Till one of my daughters said, just cut out this, I can appreciate this stuff, Dad, will you? All right? But I used to, every concern they came to me with, Aaron, I can appreciate your concern. Ann Lee, I can appreciate your concern. Pat, I can appreciate your concern. Blah, blah, blah. And I always started with that. I always started with that. Always. So it says, right there, it says, what does it say? It says, always use a cushioning statement. All right? Okay. What's the next point say there? Always have a planned track for dealing with an objection. How do you get a planned track for dealing with objections? Let me give you a little clue. You learn what you're going to learn this week and next week, and then you put it into practice. All the time. Always have a planned track. We talk feel, felt, found. We'll talk 5-step. We'll talk several others. But you got to always have a plan for dealing with an objection. And when we get into it, we're going to really be talking about these and practicing these. All right. And the next one says, whenever possible, use a visual to handle an objection. Use a visual to handle an objection. You can remember, or people will remember a whole lot more of what they saw than what they heard. Easy enough? Easy enough. I asked you to bring me something today. I bet you none of you brought it. Remember what it was?
Newspaper.
Yeah.
Newspaper. Column ad page of the newspaper. Anybody bring that?
I have in the car.
Oh, well, it's,
I know.
Not doing too bad.
it won't help you in your car. Go get it. Seriously, go get it.
Hopefully she wasn't bluffing.
I have it in the car. Okay. Well, we can use that as an example when she gets here with it. But the point being, the best way to overcome an objection is to have something to show them that overcomes the objection. I'll give you an example. While she brings this in here, I'll give you an example. You got a buyer, and this just happened to me with a young guy I was talking to, well, gosh, just 3 or 4 days ago. He says, I've just showed these people some houses and they won't commit to doing anything with me. And they tell me, I'm not working specifically with one realtor, I'm working with a bunch of them. And I'm seeing FISBOs and that sort of stuff too. All right? Is that good?
No.
No. Well, hey, what are you going to do? That's an objection, right? What are you going to do? Somebody will tell me, you remember what I just said, you got to have a plan.
Service and benefits?
Service and benefits, yeah, but maybe more than that even, okay? But you got to have a plan. And guess what? Once you get the plan, it's easy. Would you be disappointed if you missed a house you really wanted to buy? Listen to the words now. Would you be disappointed if you missed a house you really wanted to buy just because you're working with a lot of different realtors?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, did you highlight the FISBOs?
No.
We'll do that now. Give us a minute.
See, first FISBOs on that page. All right? Okay. So, show's always better than a tell, right? Because they remember it more. Use a visual. All right? And the final one of those things right there says, after handling an objection, always close by asking the customer for a decision. Always close by asking. So, I've shown you, we'll go back to the price one. And we started with what information do you have that leads you to believe that your house is really worth $300,000? And they couldn't really tell me. So I showed you a list of those similar to that one that had sold for $250,000. That's the show, maybe, right? Now, does what I've shown you take care of your objection to the price? You close it. That's the close. Follow? Does what I've shown you take care of your objection to the price? Hey, this is tough business. For you new people, this is tough business. It's not like selling candy bars, I can tell you that, or whatever else you've done before this. So, we got to know those things right there. Listen carefully. Always have a cushioning statement. All right? Always have a planned track. The more experience you get in this business, the more your planned track will work for you because you've done it and repeated it over and over and over. What's the next one say? All right? Use a visual. Use a visual. I used to use this a lot. Lewis?
Yes.
When you met your wife, what was one of the first things she said to you?
When I met her?
Yeah. You can't tell me what she said to you. But I'll tell you what, now listen.
I can, but
Listen, no you can't. Listen carefully. Tell me what she looked like the first time.
She looked hot. I mean, that's
No, the point being, he can remember what she looked like, but he can't remember what she said.
maybe not the first few words.
That's what I said. That's what I'm talking about. You remember more what you see than what you hear. Remember last week when I gave all of you all my little dog and pony show about dressing the part? Right here's a classic example. He put on a shirt and tie, and he went from 15 to 22 or 3 by putting on a shirt and tie. All right? You got to learn to do that sort of stuff, people. People remember what they see. All right, what's your name?
Maria.
Maria. What'd you do before this job, Maria?
She still does.
I build math models.
You build models, okay. All right, that doesn't follow my tracking too well, but
You could have used her when you were at the track. You could have used her.
yeah.
She could have predicted every outcome of every race for the next.
You think so? Well, and if that's the case, then I told everybody, you guys that are new don't know this, but the first year I was in this business, I didn't make hardly any money. And the reason was very simple. I wasn't taking this stuff seriously. I thought the buyers and the sellers were at Monmouth Park Racetrack or Freehold or somewhere. So I couldn't find any buyers and sellers at the racetrack. But that's where I spent most of my time. Till my wife explained to me that something about money. All right, and I decided it might be time to make a little money. All right, so where are we going with all this? It says there are several objection handling techniques can be used to overcome real estate objections. Some of these are. These things are techniques that are planned and proven, and you got to learn them. You got to learn these, all right? Easy enough? You must learn these at the bottom of page 2. All right, 5-step approach, that's one. Positive, negative is another. Feel, felt, found is another. Dilemma is another. We're going to work on those 4. And this is how we're going to work on them. We're going to go over them slowly today. Next week when we come back, we're going to role play the same stuff. We're going to role play the same stuff. And then we're going to put you up here in pairs and say, okay, I'm going to hit you with something. You use one of those approaches to deal with it. All right? So let's start with the first one. 5-step. See at the bottom of page 2, that's where we are at this time. Remember what we said? You always start with a cushion? So here are the 5 steps, and we'll go over it. Cushion, cushion the objection, question the objection, isolate the objection, handle the objection, and close the objection. That's the 5-step approach. Cushion, question, isolate, handle, close. And that's the best one to use. It fits more situations than any of the others here. Cushion, question, isolate, handle, close. All right? Now, if I were doing this stuff, I would put it in my head. If I were you, I'd put it in my head just like I got it in my head. Cushion, question, isolate, handle, close. First thing I'm going to do is cushion this statement. And I said just a while ago, I didn't have but one cushioning statement. What was it? Remember? I can appreciate your concern, blah, 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 about whatever. Right? And always start with that. Don't start with some stupid question, well, why do you feel that way? You know? You follow? I can appreciate, and it's, you got to learn the words. It's soft. And look right at them. I can appreciate your concern about the price. Now, was that soft and easy and nice and everything? Did they get mad? Never. I can appreciate your concern about the price. What's the second step say? Question. And here's how you question it. Apparently you have a reason for feeling that way. Would you mind sharing with me what it is? Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Since you were this high or younger, you were taught to share, right? Right? Would you mind telling me about it? You don't say that. No. Would you mind sharing with me? Underline the word. Because people will share with you what they will never, ever, ever tell you. People will share with you what they will never, ever, ever just tell you. All right? Cushion, question. I can appreciate your concern, blah, blah, blah. Apparently you have a reason feeling that way. Would you mind sharing with me what it is? All right? Okay, where are we? Okay. Let's turn to page 3. Okay. Step 2 says question to clarify. Just to clarify my thinking, or apparently you have some reason to feel that way, if I understood you correctly. You see those examples of dialogues there? I can't learn a whole lot of dialogue. I can't learn a whole big bunch of dialogues, so I can appreciate your concern. I'm just going to learn one, and I'm going to say the same thing to everybody. And like I said it to my kids till my daughter said, just cut out there, I can appreciate stuff, Dad. All right? What's the next step? Cushion, question, what's the next step? Isolate the objection. Before you handle an objection, you got to find out what the real objection is. Before you handle an objection, you got to find out what the real objection is. So what does it say about isolate? Isolate the objection to handle only one objection at a time. The dialogue used when isolating an objection is quite simple. Is it this, or is it this, or is it? The dialogue is it. Is it the price that concerned you? Is it the length of listing that concerned you? Is it the advertising that we talked about that concerned you? Is it? You follow that? So what have we got? We got cushion. We got question. All right. We isolated it, didn't we? Let's say it's the price, since we've been on that track. We're going to isolate it. What are we going to do after we isolate it? What's step 4? Handle the objection. After isolating the objection, it's time to handle it. Okay. You don't want to need to do anything except change how the customer feels. All right, let's talk about show you versus tell you. All right, we'll talk about show you versus tell you, right? So how do you handle it? Cushion question, isolated handle. The best way to handle is a show. Is that correct? So if it's about the price, obviously you're going to show them your comps and the work you did to come up with that price, etc. Is that correct? All right? And after you show, what do? After you show in step 4 there, what do? There you are handled by using visuals, and the dialogue should start with the words, if I could show you. You see that? After you show them, then you close the objection. So based on what I've shown you, does that take care of your problem with the price? Close. We still want to get 300. Now I've still got an objection, no. And then whose choice? What's the choice now? We want 300 for our $250,000 house, and if I can get around that in any way at all, I can get the listing, right? So what are you going to do? I mean, I know what I do, but you tell me what you do. Lewis will tell you what we'll do. With the $250,000 house, they want $300,000 to start with. You list it, right?
If you say so.
You list it. Hey, can you lower the price if you don't have the listing?
No, you can't.
Well,
Yes.
if I don't have a listing, I can't lower the price, so I'll probably just list it. If I have to, if I can't overcome the objection to price at all, I might list it. Now, what am I going to do with it? I'm not going to spend a lot of money advertising it and all that kind of stuff till I get the price where it belongs, right?
You know, if they're really hard up on that price, what I tell them is, listen, if you think that's the right price for your house, and you want to try that, we'll try it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to prepare something for you that says that my value of this home is $250, and you cannot terminate this contract with us unless you give me the opportunity to market it at that price.
Okay.
Because I feel that's the right price.
That's good.
So I'll give them the opportunity first.
Sure.
If it doesn't go lower.
Sure, absolutely. And then you go back to get a price reduction, which is a whole other class.
Correct.
This is what we've done, blah, blah, blah. This is what we've done, blah, blah, blah. This is what we've done, blah, blah, blah. And so far, we've had 6 people saw your house and nobody made an offer on it. What do you think we have to do? Go it right to them. Go it right back to them. We've had 12 people saw your house. A couple of them liked your house, but nobody made an offer on it. What do you think we have to do?
Make it more attractive.
Yeah.
Make the kitchen bigger.
Make the kitchen bigger. Hey, do you know how to make the kitchen bigger in a house?
Do I know how to make the kitchen bigger?
Yeah.
Knock down some walls.
No, that's not. She gave me the same answer that everybody does.
Yeah.
Knock out a wall here, knock out a wall. We're going to teach you something.
Please do, because I have a kitchen that I want to make bigger.
All right, you want to make it bigger? Every time you lower the price of the house, the kitchen gets bigger. All right? Every time you lower the price of the house, the kitchen gets bigger. Remember that. All right, so where are we? Cushion question, isolate, handle, close. We are going to go through that next week. We are going to practice this. Don't come back here next week saying I didn't look at any of this stuff. I don't know anything. You know, because you are wasting your time if you don't learn what's in this lesson. If you do not learn what's in this lesson, I don't care if you've been in it 20 years or 20 days. Doesn't matter. You got to learn to handle objections. And you get, how many of you came up with the 4 or 5 on that list we started with today? Give me 2 of them, Lynn, that you came up with when we started that list. Look right back on the back of that paper and give me two objections you came up with. Did you write them down? No. You didn't write them down. Give me 2.
Alright, so we don't agree with the price,
We don't agree with your price. That's the one we've been talking about, Ann.
and then we don't like the area, but we like the house.
You're talking about a buyer one. We don't like the area, but I know what you're talking about. We don't like the area, but we like the price.
Yes.
Yeah, well, what do you got to do? What do you got to do with that? You got to try to keep them as a customer, one thing, but what's the other thing you got to do about that?
Like the area?
Yeah, that's a little tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to make them like the price of something a little cheaper. Right?
Yeah.
So you got to have a plan. Every bit of it, you got to have a plan. So, where are we? The cushion, question, isolate, handle, close. You come in here next Monday, I'm going to stand you right up in front of them. Give me the 5-step approach. Give me the 5 steps. All right? Right, Harry?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to say, all right, there's the 5 steps. You gave me the 5 steps, and I'm going to say, you give me the dialogue. If If you stand up here like a dummy, then we'll know that you didn't practice. That's all I can tell you, because this stuff is nothing but practice, practice, practice. I was a high school football coach for a long, long, long time. Down south, and played in the Friday night league. And I only got fired 27 years, I only got fired once. So guess we did a pretty good job, you know. One boosters club ran me off. I went to another school, and 3 years later we beat the hell out of them.
Nice.
It's fun. It was a fun night, I tell you that. All right, so the first one we just talked about is cushion, question, isolate, handle, close. Let's look on the next page, on page 4. Positive, negative approach. All right, what does a positive, negative approach say? Well, a positive, negative approach can be very effective when used in handling any objection if the objection is centered on something that can change suddenly. Give me an example of something that can change suddenly. Come on, come on, come on. Huh? Give me an example of something that can change suddenly. What's the biggest one in the real estate business you can think of?
Interest rates.
Interest rates, absolutely positively. Interest rates. Interest rates can change